Hey guys, just finished watching The Flash, Season 4, Episode 3, Luck Be a Lady. This episode was quite fun. It was cool seeing this with this girl who has this, luck powers and how things kind of increase and stuff like that. And there was pretty interesting idea with all this stuff. And I definitely, think it was quite interesting with all the different things going on in here with this. And it's going to be interesting to see. It is nice seeing a lot of more of the thinker and seeing how things are going on with that. And it is interesting to seeing that the Team Flash has slowly started to figure out that there's someone is behind this, and it's not just a coincidence and all that stuff. So I think it is pretty interesting as things kind of build up with this. This episode was was okay. It was quite fun. I don't know how this girl is going to be, useful to the Thinker or anything like that, but it's going to be interesting to see how that works because it seems like she no longer has any powers for that. But it only does she not have any powers at all anymore? What's the catch? You know what I mean? How does she have powers or not anymore? I mean, I would assume that maybe since Thinker is smart enough to figure out how to make sure he gives her powers back for whenever he needs her, probably for the end of the season, mid-season final or something like that. That would be interesting to see. We think something like that comes back. So that was pretty interesting. We're pretty okay with that. With Iris wanting to have a wedding and it never happening, and that's going to be interesting to see what that goes. And then with Wally West leaving, that was a quick turn. He came out of nowhere. It feels like it came out of nowhere. I mean, he's been having a blast being, while Barry was gone, and then now he's back and Barry's back and stuff, and now he's just going to leave. It just seems like out of nowhere with this for Wally West. Let's just get him out of here. We don't know what to do with him and stuff like that, instead of having an episode where he leaves. I mean, when Roy Harper left Arrow permanently, he left. There was a big episode and it was a big final, and he was able to, take the fall for Oliver and all that stuff. It was such a big episode, and it was such a big moment in the show when he left and stuff like that. And it was a marked show, and it was just a solid show, a solid episode. In this, it's just like, oh, let's throw this. Oh, crap, we have Wally West. We forgot to do anything with him. Let's just say he left. He's gone in this episode. It feels like they've already written a few bunch of 10 of episodes past this episode, and are like, oh, we haven't used Wally West in these since episode 2 of season 4, and maybe they're writing episode 10 and they're like, we still haven't used Wally West since then. Let's just go back and add this little bit so that he leaves and he's gone. That's it, end of story. I really didn't like this leaving for Wally West. I mean, if you're gonna have him leave like that, have it be a full-on episode. And yes, he's a speedster; he could come back anytime. Maybe that's why he's gonna leave like that. He doesn't need a full-on episode. I mean, Roy Harper was actually left and gone from the episode. We did see him come back once or twice here and there when Thea finally found out a while back. But other than that, he was completely gone and stuff like that. But so. I don't know. I'd like to see. I would like to have seen a better part of this with him actually leaving. Hopefully, he'll be back for the crossover. It doesn't look like it, since the actor's been posting pictures on Instagram all over the place, not being completely far away from Vancouver and stuff. While we're getting set photos from everyone playing as the characters in the crossover. But I think he needs to be at his sister's wedding. I mean, how can he not be at his sister's wedding? And he didn't even say anything about, oh, I'll be back for your wedding, mark my words. And even just being back for the end of the episode when she finally gets married, just for the actual ceremony part, and that's it, zips back over. I mean, I don't know. I just hope that he's there, because it would make no sense for her to not have, for him to not be at the wedding. I mean, like Joe says, they spent so long apart, not knowing that he existed or anything like that, and now their mother is dead, and so why would they not want him? He would have to be at the wedding. They would want to be at the wedding, so they have to have him at the wedding. So I don't know. He better be at the wedding, or there better be some consequences where the Thinker has something or something like that if he's not at the wedding, or there better be an example, a good reason why he's maybe not at the wedding if he isn't. So I don't know. It's gonna be fun to see where this goes. I'm really excited to see what happens next week's episode with the trailers for that. That one really excites me a bit more than this episode, because this episode kind of feels like a filler episode, but it kind of is part of this whole setup, which is interesting with this season. How this, I mean, I don't know. It's an okay season so far. I mean, the Thinker is not not my favorite villain or anything like that yet. But I don't know. It just feels like a filler episode, but yet they have this bit of pieces in here that kind of make it feel good and stuff like that. Kind of good with this whole feel connected and stuff with this whole thinker stuff. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with this. But it looks like next week's episode is going to be having Elongated Man, which is definitely going to be fun to check that out. Definitely, I haven't read much of comic books involving Elongated Man, but I do get 2 Batman and Superman encyclopedias, so I'm assuming he has a pretty big part in there, so I'll be reading those up. And yeah, it's gonna be fun to see what happens with him. And I do know that there is that storyline in the comic books by the late Michael Turner, where all the superheroes, all their identities get kind of revealed type thing, and people start attacking, their other halves, like Lois Lane, Iris West, and I think that's all I could think of for the Justice League, and stuff. But and characters like that and stuff. So I think it would be cool to see if he becomes a regular character after next week's episode. Hopefully he does. I mean, an Elongated Man can't jump on the show and not become a recurring character type thing, and then setting him up to future to be able to potentially join Legend of Tomorrow. I think Elongated Man on Legend of Tomorrow would be really interesting. It would be really different to change up the dynamics on Edge of Tomorrow, because I kind of on Legend of Tomorrow. I kind of like the Legend of Tomorrow a little bit more if it connects us a little bit more with these shows, because it feels like it's very separate from this. So interchanging these characters and having a character created on the Flash, spend a season on the Flash, and then jump over for like season 4 or season 5 or whatever of Legend of Tomorrow would be quite cool. Maybe seeing Wally West take a break from here on this, and maybe going to the Legends would be quite a cool thing to see that there. So let me know what you think, guys, about this episode in the comments below. What would you think about it, and what are you excited for with the introduction of Elongated Man in next week's episode? And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
I'm Captain America, here to talk to you about one of the most valuable traits a soldier or student can have.
Sometimes
is the key to victory. Sometimes it leads to very little, and it seems like it's not worth it. And you wonder why you waited so long for something so disappointing. How many more of these?
You're still here.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Peace.
It's over.